Out of all the roles that care providers have, providing healthy meals is probably one of the most challenging. Making sure that the meals are healthy and tasty, preparing these meals while you have children in your care, following all the food and safety guidelines, in addition to the planning and prepping and shopping and all of that good stuff that goes on in between. So what I like to do is I just use a rotating menu. It gives me 5 weeks of all of my meals that are completely pre-planned out. All the components of my meals are going to be a breakfast, a lunch, and a PM snack. I am on the food program, and so I do have a basic menu that's provided to me, and within that menu, there's fruits, vegetables, the grain, the meat or meat alternative within the meals. So for breakfast, we basically just have a grain. That's kind of the key component to our breakfasts. Sometimes we do cereal, we'll do pancakes, waffles, we like French toast, and even just as simple as toast with butter on it is always a favorite for breakfast with the children. So the next component on the breakfast list is going to be a fruit. It can also be a vegetable. So most of the time I do fruits. Sometimes we will do potatoes and things like that. And then once a week I will do a third component that would be a protein, such as cream cheese, yogurt, eggs, or a piece of meat like a sausage or ham. And then the last component to the breakfast service is going to be the milk. Children under 2 get whole milk and children over 2 get 1%. So for our lunch, we'll always have a protein such as a meat or meat alternative. Sometimes it could be fish. And then we have a grain. It can be pasta. Sometimes we like tortillas or simply bread or breadsticks. And then there's always going to be a fruit and a vegetable. We use a variety of fruits. There could be both fresh or canned. And then also with the vegetables, it's a big variety. And then once a week, we do a meatless option. And this could be just something like beans or something that has cheese, like a cheese pizza. And then lastly, the last component of our lunch service, once again, is going to be milk. The last meal on your menu is going to be the snack. You can do this as an AM snack or a PM. In my program, it seems to work best as a PM snack. You're just going to choose 2 components to make it complete, and it's going to be either a fruit or a vegetable paired with a grain, or a vegetable or fruit paired with a protein, such as hummus or a hard cheese, a boiled egg. There's a lot of different options that you can do. Sometimes we do soft cheeses like cottage cheese paired with some pineapple, but you can imagine you can make a lot of combinations with this. And the last combination would be a milk paired with either a grain or a fruit or a vegetable. And if you're on the food program, these are the only combinations that you need to make your meal complete. And when it comes to infant care, parents in my program will provide the bottles of milk, and I put them in these containers and keep them in the fridge. I do provide baby food, but I'm not going to offer any baby foods that haven't already been introduced by the parent. And that's just a general rule. So next I'm going to show you my menus and what those look like. So I took the menus, I divided all the meals out into this 5-week rotation. I printed them onto cardstock and then I laminated them so that they're durable. I also took the next step to make a shopping list, and I actually just keep this in my purse so that when I'm at the store, there's no guessing of what I need. They're all planned out and they're ready to go for me. There's enough flexibility in these menus that if I want to change things up a little bit day by day or week by week, I definitely can. What I do is I clip it on my fridge on this little clip, and then the other menus go up into this magnet file that is on my fridge, and then my food program paperwork just gets set right there, and then it's all together ready to go, easy to glance at and see what meals we're prepping for that day. So now I want to show you a few things that just make my life easier. One is Instacart. I don't do Instacart every single week, but I'm really glad that it's there, and I have that option that if I'm not going to get out and get all the shopping done I need, or if I'm kind of a little tied up that weekend, I can get it all sent to my house and I know we have everything for the next week. And then another thing that's really helpful is to find these prepared meats. They're tasty and they're easy to cook. The kids like them. and also any of the grains that you can cook quickly, canned goods, and also these microwavable rice packs. This is brown rice. It's really tasty. The kids love it, and all I have to do is put that in the microwave for 90 seconds. I like to have some of the frozen breads, like the breadsticks. They're really quick to bake in the oven. Also, some of the breakfast components that are frozen, like French toast stick, as well as pancakes that are already made. Maybe one day when I don't have infants in my care, I can start cooking my own pancakes, but for right now, this is really great. I can get breakfast done within minutes, or our other meals done within minutes, if I'm choosing these things that are prepped and ready to go, as well as frozen items like these frozen chicken pieces. These are really easy to cook up quickly. And then any of these vegetable steamer packs, these are so great. They just cook in minutes. And then once again, my grain I can have cooked up so quickly. Canned goods are great too. You just pop these cans open, dump them into your bowl, and you're ready to go. And this is how it all looks in my cupboard after I've done my shopping and I've put things away. And it's just on this one shelf, and then also some shelves hanging on the inside of my door. And it's just really easy to grab just what we need off my menu. And then in my fridge, I keep these plastic containers like this, and I have them labeled and they're separated out so that my family knows which things in the fridge they're not to touch. And then also when I have inspections, they can see my thermometers are here and they can check my food really easy without having to look over everything else that's in my fridge. Freezer as well. I have one of these bins. I have it labeled and it also has my thermometer in there. So I want to talk a little bit about whole grains. If you're on the food program, you're going to need at least one whole grain a day. Grains are a healthy thing. They are a good idea to have incorporated into a children's menu. So some things they'll say that they're wheat, but they're not necessarily a whole grain. And I'm going to show you how you know if it's a whole grain or not. On the back of the packaging, on the label, you'll look at the very first ingredient. And if the first ingredient is actual wheat, or the grain component that it's made out of, that's how you know. So this says whole grain durum wheat flour. This is definitely whole grain. And so the crispy oats, I'm going to look on that. If my first ingredient is going to be the component such as whole grain oat flour, that is whole grain. And same with rice, even though this isn't necessarily brown rice, it's still a whole grain because rice itself is a whole grain. So I look on there, first ingredient is rice. So we're good to go. This is also a whole grain. The next thing that you really want to look out for on your cereals is your sugar content. Making sure that the sugars are low, it's really important, and cereals can be a major sugar trap. Next is with your yogurt. I've found that these vanilla yogurts are low in sugar, so turning over your labels, making sure that that's below 7 grams of sugar, very important because you really don't want your kids all sugared up while they're in your program. These are tasty, good yogurts, but it also fits the needs of the food program for sugar content. So nextly, if you have toddlers in your care, you might want to offer more soft fruits. So instead of apples, you might have applesauce. Berries are nice and soft. Bananas are soft. And then also dicing up your grapes is very important. Grapes are a major choking hazard for children under 4. And also with your meats, slower cooked and stewed meats, diced meats, things like that. When children are so little and they don't have very many teeth, it's a good idea to have those softer foods. Canned fruits and vegetables are nice and soft as well. I hope this video helped. I hope it gave you some ideas and for organization and meal preparation. I'm going to put a list of all the grains, all the fruits, and all the vegetables that I use in my menus and my program, as well as a little guide down into the description. I hope this helped. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. There's more to come.